Hey, check up. Let's play some D. Welcome to episode 35 of Play Some D with, as always, your host, Coach D, in the building. And I got four good ones today. Well, I guess good ones to me. I mean, I don't know if, but to me, they're some interesting topics. They came up over the past week, couple days, whatnot, and then one of them just has to do with the holiday season. That's Christmas movies. I was going to save it for closer to Christmas, but I think people begin to start enjoying Christmas movies. I guess probably around when Thanksgiving starts, or maybe even earlier, but for sure in December. Me personally, I'm not a Christmas movie fan. There are some that I enjoy more than others, but that is one of the quarters today. And we're talking about Christmas movies. The rank, I can't rank them because I'm not a connoisseur of Christmas movies. So it'll be unfair for me to personally rank them. But I'll go through a ranking list that I don't know. We'll see. Whatever. But the other three topics are Netflix blockbusters, Netflix feature films, Netflix franchises. I guess is the proper way to say it. I'll be talking about that. I'll be talking about 4 day work week, and obviously the big splash that I recently talked about was USC coaching hire, and they hired Lincoln Riley. So I'm gonna talk about that. That'll be first quarter coming up here. So right before I get into to big boy Riley, um hopefully you're gonna like this video. Not just playing. Please, if you don't mind, like the video, hit that sub button, turn on those post notifications. As always, if you don't mind, if it don't hurt your clicker or your finger or whatever you do to watch and do the dang thing. So yeah, so let's get it let's get the let's tip this baby off, and it's you know we play some DBN sports related. Usually my first quarters are going to be something hot and juicy, sports related if they can be, and that's exactly what this is going to be. Lincoln Riley and the USC job. I talked about the USC coaching job. I don't know, a few episodes back, and I just thought they just shouldn't have made a splash. They should have tried to lock in on a specific coach that wants to do specific things. But I guess I wouldn't have done this. The contract details and all that. It's silly to me for a program that's been bad for so long. I think you got to build some kind of principles, and LA is just so filled with stuff to do and markets and things of that nature and big acts and celebrities and stars. Is that you you got to build the college football programs off of something. You can't build it off of flash. That's just not a part of it anymore. I just don't think that's with it actually being NFL football here now, where the Raider, when Reggie Bush and USC was lighting it up. There was no other football here. Now it is. The Rams are a shiny object. Uh, Chargers essentially they got a really really good quarterback. So Lakers and Clippers. I mean, I guess they were good at that time too, but NFL football is always going to be king. So now you just gotta win. You gotta get a coach in there with principles and to be perfectly honest with you, I mean, yeah, Lincoln Riley's going to drag in some recruits, and he'll get the Kyler Murrays and the Baker Mayfields drafted, things of that nature. Looks like one of his quarterbacks that was going to go to Oklahoma was going to follow him to USC. So that's totally cool, and I'm sure he's a young guy, and the players probably relate to him. But I just thought that USC should have went a completely different direction. But now, if you are gonna make a splash, make the biggest splash in the ocean. Pull in the biggest well, and outside of Nick Saban, this is probably gonna be your biggest well you can drop in. Honestly. So it's not what I would have done, but it totally makes sense. I mean, the 110 million for a coach is absurd. It's dumb. the housing and the private jets. I don't know how much all these are just rumors and things of that nature. But the contract's obviously big, and I think it's it's going to surpass the 9.7 that Nick Saban makes almost certainly. And with him being, I think he's 38 or something like that. Like I said, you could see how 12 years or something like that. You have him till he's 50 or whatever. Build a program, but even Oklahoma, he inherited Bob Stoops players. They never really got over the hump, and even when they were in the playoff, I believe they made the playoff 2 years. I want to say, you never thought they were going to be a thing. Even this year, with Spencer, then eventually going to Caleb Williams. You never thought that they were going to really do anything. And yes, they'll get better recruits, well, possibly get better recruits. Once again, why would I go to USC when I could go, USC hasn't been good in a while, and who's to say Lincoln Riley's going to change that? And, the top recruits out here, end up still going to, Ohio State and Alabama and Clemson. And, USC probably still won't pull them in. Even Chip Kelly being who Chip Kelly was, he didn't come to UCLA and do, it's better now, but it's just not. It's not what the expectations are. I don't. Hopefully Lincoln Riley gets it done for USC football, but the numbers and things of that nature just don't really at all carry over for me. And a whole nother topic that I'll talk about later on in sports. I thought USC needed a black coach. I think more schools and things of that nature need black coaches. The players are predominantly black. They relate to black coaches. It's just how it's going to be. At first it's all it's all fun and games when when you're talking about it on Twitter, but when you get between those lines and Lincoln says the wrong thing, or you get on campus and it's his team, it's his squad. Players don't run the college, coaches do. That's why they get paid so much. College players currently do not get paid. And name, image, and likeness is not the same as getting paid by a school. It's completely different. You walk on that campus, you walk on that football field, you're under Lincoln Riley's thumb. The assistant coach, you're under their thumb. They say the wrong thing, they rub you the wrong way, and 70s whatever man roster, you got cliques and things of that nature. And guys like, man, coach acting funny, and then homeboy like, wait, coach said that, and then now Lincoln Riley got a 10 batch of dudes, and they could be really good players that don't really feel them, but they're gonna go out there and play. But you want that whole connection, you want that family environment on a football team. It's a team sport. Everybody got to be on the same page. Everybody got wanting to win. Everybody wanting to win for each other, and little things like that can affect it, especially in a racially charged media field, social media field environment. I think things just need to be a lot more in sync. And as I said, grabbing a coach right now looks good. When you get between those lines, a whole different thing. And then he's been on everything, but I watched him talk on Colin Cowherd's show, and Colin asked him what do you want USC football to be, and he said, I said it at the same time he said it is physical. That's what you essentially would want. It's a physical team, but a Lincoln Riley team ain't. Him and physicality don't even look the part. Who's he selling on physicality? It's like, yeah, it sound good, but it's just because you want to do something don't mean you're going to do something. Like, the players know. Players can go and watch the tape and see what teams he had and things of that nature. Him transition to a physical coach. I mean, I know assistants and things of that nature has a lot to do with all of that stuff, but selling the players on that, you got to show me. It says show me. It says show me world. Talking about it, you got to show me, and that takes time. And I think actually bringing in a physical whatever coach. I don't have any names. Don't know what black coach or whatever coach they should have gotten, but I thought they should have did their homework long, hard, and full before even looking at recruits of that nature. Get the coach in there, believe in them, and then go from there. But they got their guy. They're stuck now. Whatever it is, it's going to be what it is. He'll probably win games. At the end of the day, it's USC football. And just winning 9 games, 10 games just won't be enough. And they don't have the players to get out there and compete with the Ohio States and the Alabamas and the Clemsons and the Georgias, none of this, $110 million, no matter how much USC makes, what their tuition is, it just it won't matter. They would literally be getting robbed in terms of competing. So, shout out to Lincoln Riley. USC made the splash that I thought they shouldn't have made. But if you're gonna make it, get that big old white whale out there and pull it in and see what you could do. See what comes of it. So that was interesting. Some people call it shocking, but I never think none of that stuff is shocking because those coaches saying I'm gonna stay up my team, I'm not going anywhere. That's all fluff and whatever. You get the right offer. They always say money. Money talks, and it does, and opportunity talks. And Oklahoma ain't Los Angeles by no step of the imagination. That's just it is what it is. All right. Quarter number 2 is the 4-day work week, and I'll probably be pretty brief here. 4-day work week makes nothing but sense. Bunch of studies about employees and workloads and not even studies. I mean, most people been in the office, and there's rare instances unless you're at a startup or a company that's constantly having issues, things to do, or you just want to make up work. There's literally not 40 hours of work a person can do unless they don't know what they're doing. If you know how to do your job, you're probably, let's face it, you're probably chilling for hours out of the week where you could, be doing something else or whatever the case may be. So I don't know if necessarily doing 4 10-hour days or changing to 32 hours or 35 or 37 and a half or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But giving a person a whole extra day, it just seems life-changing. It really does. It really does. And you think about the concept of say it's 10-hour day, say it's 8 to 6. Most people are sitting in traffic. Most people are sitting in traffic or, most people are going to sit in traffic regardless. So they're already dragged out, 10 hours, a day in most instances. So what's another hour and a half to 2 hours? You leave later at work, the traffic dies down. You come a little bit earlier. The traffic's a little bit lighter. So whatever, say it's still 2 hours, say it's 12 hours of your day, but you get a whole day back where you can maneuver, get stuff done, run errands that some stuff's not open on Saturdays and Sundays that you need to go to from 9 to 5 on, say, a Friday or a Wednesday or whatever day you get, that fifth day that's off. So in terms of just logistics, it makes nothing but sense to hoard people in the office 5 days a week. I could do a whole TED talk about options of working that are way better than the current structure of work right now. It is pretty darn dumb, and a lot of stuff can be switched around where a lot of different things can work. It's just trying to do it and actually making it work. Would 3 days work? Maybe. But my issue with 3 days is that if you're on one of those jobs where a lot of people are in the routine and you do stuff over and over again, and say you have 4 days off without doing something, you're doing something for 3 days, not doing it for 4, you get rusty. You can get rusty. You get tired, you forget a little bit, you're a little bit slower. So I think 4 days is a sweet spot. Maybe it's a 3.5-ish. Maybe it is something along those lines. But to piggyback onto the next statement is that regardless of what those hours are, if something needs to get done and you have an employee that knows how to do their job, the work is going to get done. Now, if it's a 4-day work week, just like if it's a 5-day work week, or some people work 6 days, some people work 7 days. People that feel enthused in doing their job and want to get the job done, they're going to get the job done. Oh, I'm working my 32 hours. Maybe you don't get overtime, so that however that works is different. But say you get overtime, say you got to get the job done. Say overtime has been approved, get the job done. Most people are like, got to get this out for the deadline. I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna get it done because that's my job. Most people are okay with that. But you say, okay, when I get this done, whether it's 9 p.m., 10 p.m. on Wednesday, say Thursday is your fifth day off, you get that done, you're leaving out of there and like, I got 3 days. That's a better feeling. Even just thinking about it, it's just a better feeling. You'll work a little bit harder, you'll work a little bit smarter, and you'll appreciate that. And I just, like I said, the psychological aspect of it, you don't have to do any studies or anything of that nature. You can just ask people and just look at going into an office setting and seeing how everything works nowadays. It'll tell you that 4 days makes way more sense than 5. Now, in one of these Fortune articles I ran across is the title is, the CEO implemented a 4-day work week in July, says her company will never go back. It boosted revenue and morale. Revenue, I don't even want to talk about revenue because at the end of the day, if this was implemented, it goes, to be majority across the board, and companies aren't functioning, working, companies aren't lasting if they aren't making money. That's the whole point of starting a company, running a company. You want to make money. Now, the profits and how much you make, how much the CEO gets versus how much the employees get, whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But the whole goal is to make money. So if you ain't making money, you got to change something. So if everybody's working hard, everybody's getting the work done that needs to be done, you have the right deals, the right contracts, you sign the right agreements with the right companies to make money, the money will be made. So forget about that. Now, morale is the different thing. You want employees. You want your employees. I feel safe to say most people want to go to work. Most people want to have a job. Most people don't want to slave over anything. Most people don't really want to or even know how to go about starting their own business or really want to have the responsibilities. Some people just want to, be able to come in, do their job, and go home and pay their bills and live comfortably. I think majority of people want to do that. They got good morale. They like their job. They want to do it. That's what you want out of your employees. That just makes sense. And you would think that companies across the board would have implemented something like this. Let's try this out. For the month of, every 3 months, every fourth month of the year, we work 3 days a week. We work 4 days a week. Whatever. Try it. Get the statistics. Get the data. Figure it out. Stagger people. That's just, laziness and, oh, this is how the market works, and this is, we got to ship stuff out in this day, and these companies do all different kind of things to make other things work. They can make their employees' lives work a little bit better. So that article made total sense, and then the Forbes article is 4-day work weeks are here. The life work revolution is real, and with the pandemic and things changing, this been here. This all been real. It's just people didn't feel like there was enough people. People feel a certain way about a lot of things that aren't changing, and that's just because you don't have the numbers behind it going in the same direction. Power's in numbers, but if there's a big group of people and everybody's going 60 different ways to get a solution, it'll never work. But when somebody's going the same way, saying, look, we're not dealing with this, and it just be that general, like, we're not dealing with this. The banking collapses, the car market collapses. People just was like, man, we not going to work until y'all fix this, how this supposed to go. We not paying bills. We ain't doing none of that stuff. If everybody had a focal point on how to get things fixed, things can get fixed. And that's essentially what's happening here, is that there was leverage. People used that leverage, didn't go back to work, figured out other ways to do things, and then expressed of why they're not doing it. And then companies are like, well, we got to listen because we need workers to get stuff done, whether it's McDonald's or it's Walmart, Amazon. You need workers. So you got to figure out what to do in your capacity to help them and get that done. So the revolution, I guess that's the way to put it, but the thought process and how people have been feeling about it, it's been here, and it's been real. So 4-day work week, you know, we'll see. We'll definitely see uh, how it goes, regardless of how many work days it is. Companies just need to figure out a better way of making sure their employees are efficient and just not, necessarily dragging them into specifically 40 hours a week and not giving them flexibility and things of that nature. I think that's really the big thing, but a completely another topic too as well. So we got halftime. As always, it's just poppily doobie doppity doo. Netflix and Blockbusters. That title is really just a troll title. Yeah, it's really just a troll title because I couldn't resist. Honestly, just couldn't resist. But it's basically about Netflix and having these franchises. And Red Notice, I haven't watched it. Don't plan to watch it. I'm just sick of. To be honest, I love The Rock, love Kevin Hart, I love other actors too. But I'm just sick of seeing the same people over and over and over again. This is just the bottom line. And action adventure, no thanks. No thanks. I'm cool. The take is Netflix wants to eventually be like Disney and have theme parks and merch and action figures and all that good stuff. And that's where I get a little bit annoyed with these companies that everybody wants to be the biggest and baddest. Why can't you just stay in your lane? Why can't you just do what you do? Netflix is a streaming company. Just stream quality stuff to people. Just give them the stuff. If they in turn want t-shirts and want toys and things of that nature, give it to them. If you get to a point where, man, the masses want a Netflix theme park, if it happens organically like that and you got the money to make it and the foundation and the marketing and the fan base, do it. But to dig for it, to be greedy for it, is just where I kind of draw the line. I hate that. Like it makes you feel kind of creepy because it's like you can see the intentions of the grab. It's like the investors and the board members are like, what more can we suck out of the people? How much more money can we take? Just we want. And organically, if the fans want it and you're smart enough to understand it, you'll gradually put it in. If Red Notice was a bomb, and or not a bomb, but not bombing, but like the bomb, good movie, and people's like, man, I would love that Red Notice, Dwayne Johnson action figure. Whether you put it out when the movie came out or whether you put it out 6 months from now, people want it. They're gonna go and get it. Just like collectible items. It's like there's a toy that I had when I was a kid that I bought as a kid for $17. Now I got to spend $200 for it. Regardless of the manner, if people want it, they're gonna go and get it, and if it's available for them. There's a Entourage hoodie that I should have bought a long time ago that I wish I would have bought. Now I would pay $200 for it. It was $40, $50 on HBO site, but they drop it again. Boom, give me that Entourage hoodie. It doesn't matter. And I'm probably not the only one, because if you like something, you like a franchise, you like a blockbuster, you'll go and get it. So that's that side of Netflix, just clawing and desperate for it. Let it be authentic. Let the fans, put the good stuff out, and the fans will tell you. Now, in terms of the inevitable that they are going to do this because they're so big and they see the content they have, and they figure that you just keep throwing darts at the dartboard, eventually you're going to hit something. So I think their best opportunity is with the holiday stuff. You make Easter movies, probably stupid, but Christmas movies, Halloween movies, a specific summertime flick. You got to kind of theme it, because Netflix is a streamer. It's not Disney. It's not characters. You you would create it based on essentially real life stuff. That's what you would have to do. You would be making you're not making necessarily a character. You're making a a thing, a material thing, an idea, a theme. Like that's kind of what I think would work for Netflix if they wanted to do it. And Thanksgiving movies, a Thanksgiving movie every year, a Christmas movie every year, a New Year's movie, something along those lines. Maybe a basketball movie, a football movie, something like that. I think that's where the blockbusters would come in for them, because trying to turn Netflix into just a random assortment of movies with characters like HBO, like The Wire, Game of Thrones. I mean, Wire doesn't even have toys that I know of. Game of Thrones, True Blood. I don't know why I said True Blood. Just came out. Sopranos. I don't know if the Sopranos have. I think they're TV shows. They want blockbuster movies, films, features that are franchises, and I don't know, just them being universal. I think it's only space for so many of those type of companies, and Netflix isn't Marvel or Universal or Warner's, or they're Netflix. Be you, do you, be you great, and if it's real and the fans want it, you'll be in a position to give it to them. You will. So it's just interesting. It's been talked about for a while. Heard a segment on the radio about it and did some research. And like I said, I've heard about it, talked about it before, and it was just kind of weird that Netflix wants to do this when their model is working pretty well. If they were falling apart, I could see how they would want to do that, but they're not falling apart, and they're still at the top, and the greed can, stubbornness can run you down for sure. So that's third quarter, and fourth quarter is what I promised. You figured once I put Netflix third quarter, you kind of knew what fourth quarter was going to be, and it's it's all about these. Some would say the best time of the year, and oh no. All right, so I'll just have to go through it without seeing it. My other computer's not connected. Tone sucks. Had to do some formatting and switch up some stuff, so thought it would just already work, but it doesn't. So I was gonna go. This is a Rotten Tomatoes editorial, 65 best Christmas movies. It's the 1946 version. It's a Wonderful Life is number one. Never seen it. The 1947 Miracle on 34th Street. Never seen it. Holiday Inn 42. Never seen it. Number 4, Chop Around the Corner. Never seen it. How the Grinch Stole Christmas 67. I've seen that one. Nightmare on Elm Street. Seen that one. Little Women. Have not seen that one. Met Me in St. Louis 44. Number 8. And it's interesting. These 40s movies and Christmas being in the top 10 is it's pretty wild how people felt about Christmas in the 40s, and that's that feeling you get that those movies made you feel good about Christmas, things of that nature. It's funny, the whole Die Hard argument is a Christmas movie. They have it as 11 on here. Arthur's Christmas, Claus 2019 is number 13, which was good. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, obviously. Thought that would be top 10. Edward Scissorhands on here. And this is the Little Women 1994. Never seen either of the Little Women's. Christmas Story, of course. Jingle Jango came out last year. Yeah, last year. Thought that was a good movie. They have it 19, which I think is fair. It's fair. And then a lot of these, moving down the list. Elves at 26. Gremlins. The Gremlins. I mean, I've seen these movies. They got Batman on here. There's no way Batman's a Christmas movie. A Christmas Horror Story. Never saw that. That's at 39. Happy Christmas. The Lego Star Wars holiday specials on here. The Santa Claus is 46. Um, Home Alone's at 51. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Dolly Parton, Christmas at 62. 65 is Remember the Night, and A Miracle on 34th Street, 1994 version is 64, and I did see that one. Christmas movies though, the ranking list, and this is the once again what's going to share, run through it same time. I said no signal, you saw that. But anyway, so Rotten Tomato article, and this, I'm always interested, every year I kind of do this, just take a little peek at what people are thinking, what top movies at certain times of the year, the Halloween movies and Christmas movies and Valentine movies, there's those theme movies that I just mentioned. Netflix, I think, could capitalize on in that market and grab some of it, but Christmas is that, those certain movies you just want to sit down, snuggle up, and just kind of smile and things like that. And that's why these movies, that's why 65 of them, because they all have that heartwarming story and full of life, and there's not much sadness. There's always a climax, and there's a downer point, the whole movie plot thing. But overall, it's like Christmas is like family, happiness, and these movies are the good movies that, yeah, some weird stuff happened, but the realisticness of the overall of how the movie comes together and ends, it's like, oh, that can all be realistic. Like, that all makes sense with the family and everybody being happy and working hard to get people those gifts and love and friendship and all that good stuff. That's why these movies, stand out to a lot of people, and a lot of people enjoy them. And I totally understand that. I don't watch them just because I feel like it's the same thing over and over again. I'm not a big fan of watching the same type of stuff over and over and over again. And then if you run into a Christmas movie that you really do like, i.e. a Halloween, i.e. The Grinch, you're totally fine with watching those over and over again. And you get what you need. Bad Santa, Elf, even if it's Die Hard. If you feel like Die Hard's a, holiday movie and it, gets you in that mood, gets you in, you'll watch it, you'll check it out. So totally makes sense. And yeah, that's Christmas movies. It was 65 on Rotten Tomatoes. Would have been cool to pull it up here, but I'll fix it. It'll be ready next time for sure. But yeah, that was 35. Play some D. 35 of these bangers. Talked about Netflix and what they're trying to do with features, getting them some blockbuster movies. That 4-day work week that might pop off. Lincoln Riley USC. That's only time will tell, but not something I would have did. But boosters and USC, and I'm sure there's a lot more people that were in that decision than there's people at USC. So, it is what it is. I'm not out of my pay grade. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, just talk about Christmas movies. Top 65 from Rotten Tomatoes. It's a whole bunch of different lists. Everybody's list gonna be different. I'm gonna have Home Alone in my top 10. This had it at 51, I think. So, it's just all fun to look at. So, but yeah, that whole new variant coming out at you and all that good stuff. And there's a lot of different topics to talk about, but I want to keep it nice and light, especially if we get off to December. We'll roll into, the college football stuff's coming and NFL playoffs right around the corner and NBA Christmas games. That's the sports stuff, music. But yeah, as always, Until the next one, y'all be safe. Keep it cool. Keep it tight. Keep it light. And on the next one, holla.